I'm here for all of the witches.
Hey, Spillers! Today we're diving straight into the wizarding world because the Harry Potter family feud has officially exploded again. J.K. Rowling is throwing shade, Emma Watson is trying to keep the peace and the drama. Oh, it's hotter than a cauldron in Snape's classroom. Grab your butterbeer because you do not want to miss this. It all started earlier this month when Emma Watson finally broke her silence on her rocky relationship with Rowling. Speaking on Jay Shetty's popular podcast On Purpose, Emma was surprisingly diplomatic. Instead of dragging the author, she struck a thoughtful, almost Hermione-like tone. She admitted there had been a painful rift, yes, but she also said she's still grateful for the memories, still has love for Rowling, and despite their very public differences on gender and politics, she will always treasure the time they shared during the Harry Potter years. The very next day, J.K. Rowling retweeted a spoof video mocking Watson's high road answer.
Incompatible. Those two things can exist at the same time, which is why I love this incredibly diverse world that we live in.
And just when you thought it might stop there, Rowling escalated in spectacular fashion. Days later, she unleashed a scathing essay-length rant on X. That's Twitter for us old school folks. And in it, she didn't hold back. Rowling accused Emma of being, quote, ignorant of how ignorant she is. Because Watson has lived a life cushioned by wealth and fame since childhood. Rowling contrasted her own past, writing Harry Potter while living in poverty, with Emma's cushy stardom accusing the actress of enthusiastically participating in what Rowling calls the trashing of women's rights. Ouch. To understand how we got here, we need to rewind. This feud didn't appear overnight. The fallout began back in 2020 when Rowling published a controversial essay on gender identity that was widely criticized as transphobic. Immediately, Harry Potter's Golden Trio, Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson, spoke out publicly against her. Emma famously tweeted, "Trans people are who they say they are." Rowling has said she never forgave them. She even blames their public statements for fueling an avalanche of death threats, rape threats, and violent abuse directed at her online. Fast forward to now, and Rowling isn't just a best-selling novelist. She's become the poster woman for a divisive feminist faction often labeled TERFS, trans-exclusionary radical feminists. She's bankrolled campaigns, including one that recently won a UK Supreme Court case declaring that transgender women legally aren't women. Rowling celebrated that victory with a yacht photo, her in sunglasses, puffing a cigar, sipping wine, captioned, "I love it when a plan comes together. It's giving Bond villain energy." Rowling also pointed to earlier incidents that soured her view of Emma. At the 2022 BAFTAS, Watson went on stage after being introduced by Rebel Wilson, who jokingly hinted at Rowling. Emma, smiling, declared, "I'm here for all the witches." Fans saw it as a sly dig at Rowling's exclusionary stance. Behind the scenes, Rowling says Watson once tried to mend things by passing her a handwritten note saying, "I'm so sorry for what you're going through." But Rowling wasn't impressed. She called the gesture hollow, especially since it came while Rowling was receiving threats and tightening her family's security. To her, Emma's one-liner wasn't compassion, it was gasoline on the fire. In her fiery new statement, Rowling really went in on Emma's lifestyle. She painted a picture of Watson as an out-of-touch celebrity who's never known struggle. Rowling mocked the idea that Emma would ever need a homeless shelter, share a hospital ward with men, or even shop in a high-street changing room like the rest of us. She hammered home the point that she, Rowling, clawed her way out of poverty, while Watson has lived in privilege since the age of 14. The underlying message? Emma doesn't understand real women's issues because she's never lived them. And Rowling ended with a brutal flourish. Adults can't cozy up to an activist movement that regularly calls for a friend's assassination, then expect that former friend's love as though she was their mother. The internet, of course, had a field day. Some sided with Rowling, saying Watson's middle ground approach on Shetty's podcast was just fence-sitting after years of cheerleading for trans charities like Mermaids. Others argued Rowling's response was way too personal, cruel, and dismissive of Emma's attempt at peace. Commentators like Fiona McKenna, author of Turf Island, even suggested Watson was just trying to crawl back into Rowling's good graces to keep her career alive. Meanwhile, critics accused Rowling of bullying the very young woman her books helped make famous. Rowling insists she doesn't expect eternal loyalty from the actors who played her characters. But at the same time, she clearly feels betrayed. Like the kids she once protected have now turned against her. And Emma, she seems caught in the impossible position of staying true to her values while not completely disowning the woman who gave her the role of a lifetime. And let's be real, Potter fans are feeling whiplash. Social media has basically turned into a battleground. Some longtime readers are devastated, saying this feud has tainted the magic of their childhood. You've got people posting TikToks of themselves boxing up their Harry Potter books, while others are doubling down, saying Rowling is simply telling it like it is. What's even wilder is how divided the younger generation of fans are. On Reddit, some argue Emma's podcast comments show maturity, that she's learned you can love parts of your past without excusing someone's harmful behavior. Others aren't buying it, calling her comments PR polished fence-sitting and accusing her of wanting it both ways. Admiration from Rowling's fans while still keeping her woke cred online. What do you think? Did Rowling cross a line by airing this so publicly, or is Emma guilty of playing both sides? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Because in this feud, there is no invisibility cloak to hide behind.